Good morning, class. Today you are going to further develop your characters, and you're going to know that a good developed character is essential to starting your writing process. Before you do anything, make sure that you write these notes into your notebook. So if you haven't already, pause the video and write today's goal and then the character development tips. All right, those of you who have this written in your book, you can move on to what you're going to do today, which is continue developing your character. Yesterday, you created a scene in which your character was in, and this was not a scene for your story. However, it was a scene to give you an idea of who your character is. I want you to now think a step further and writing out in a T-chart what those traits are. You can look at your notes from yesterday for your main character, but I have an example here. The next slide is example about A Christmas Carol, and their internal, external. This is what I'm looking for in your T-chart. You should have just whatever, if you have a title for your story already, otherwise just title there, and then at least 3 characters from your story that you are going to write about. And then I want to know about their internal and external conflicts or traits. Internal and external traits. So your main character might be one that you've talked about yesterday. And so filling these in comes directly from your notes. Internal is going to be something that is inside their head that people can't see, such as with Scrooge, he was bitter and angry. Well, some of that you can see, but that's just an example. And then in the end, he was jolly and giving. Scrooge is a dynamic character that changes over the course of a book. A dynamic character is a person that changes throughout a book, and think about that when you're writing your characters, because a dynamic character is going to show a much more interesting story. For example, Landon had a really good idea for a dynamic character. He already knows how his character is going to change from the beginning to the end. So think about that. For external, what we could see for Scrooge is he refuses to help the needy. He doesn't give social graces to his employee, Bob Cratchit, and he pays no attention to his family. I went through and did that with Bob. I just listed a couple things for each person. With Fred, I put 3 things here. External, he tries hard to win over his love, or his uncle's love. For my own story, I have another example. So I created 3 characters, Stella, Ricky, and Margot. I haven't gotten to Margot yet into what her internal and external traits are. However, Stella, I had these written down in my book already. I just re-put them in, maybe in a different context or a different way of telling it. And then Ricky was my other character. I didn't talk about him yesterday in my reader's notebook, but I wrote about him. So I wanted to dig a little deeper. I like this one. He's going to play sports with lots of groups of people. This helps me to realize, okay, he might be a good person for Stella, who wants to make friends, and maybe getting her into these social groups like he's doing. So that's going to help me with my character development, help me immensely with my story, so that my story just doesn't go on and on and on without any purpose. Your task for today is to create one of those T-charts, have at least 3 characters, and have at least 2 things on each list. So internal, external, list 2 internal and 2 external for each of your 3 characters. You can list more. When you are done, fill out the exit ticket for today and show it to me, and pick up a book and read. If you have any questions, raise your hand, and happy writing.